Good evening, everyone. Happy Sunday evening. Today is Sunday, September the 8th, and welcome to another edition of Angry Taxpayer. I'm your host, Donna Smirniotopoulos. We had a beautiful weekend. I hope that you all were able to go to the Oyster Festival this weekend. I was fortunate enough to go yesterday afternoon. I walked there from my home, and it was better than I remembered the last time I went, which was many years ago with my kids. Great craft beer tent, lots of great food, wonderful things for sale. Of course, I bought things that I didn't need, but that's okay. And hopefully the Seaport Association did well with that event. And then last night I went to the Wall Street Theater, courtesy of a friend. They had two great bands running on empty, a Jackson Browne tribute band and Fleetwood Mac, a Fleetwood Mac tribute band. They both did a great job. Packed house, great night to go to the Wall Street Theater, and I encourage you all to patronize the Wall Street Theater. We are approaching the silly season, which is campaign season, and driving around Norwalk, maybe you've seen a sign here or a sign there. The signs are starting to go up, and it kind of raises the question, how much campaigning is too much? And when is it too soon to campaign? How much campaign flair can a candidate wear when they go out in public, say to the Oyster Festival or some other community event? The question came up yesterday at the Oyster Festival from the mayor. Now, interestingly, the chair of the party was wearing his campaign flair, which he did not remove until he was leaving the Oyster Festival. So, out of respect to the mayor, I would like to point out that when you are the mayor of Norwalk and you've been in office since 2013 and you have a very visible spouse, Lucia Rilling, also known as the First Lady of Norwalk, and this is something she invented for herself and for Norwalk. So I think we should thank Lucia for inventing the role of First Lady of Norwalk. But when you're in that position and you're extremely visible, one could say that you're always campaigning, that your face itself is part of your campaign. Ribbon cuttings and going to the Greek festival and going to the Oyster Festival and probably not missing a day. Part of that is campaigning. So I think we need to acknowledge that, and maybe Mayor Rilling, take it easy on people wearing campaign pins when you have the office and you can exploit the office at will. While we're on the subject of campaigning, I would like to talk about campaign brochures. I was lucky enough to see the mayor's brochure, and when you see the mayor in public with his wife, I've noticed a very cute thing that they do. I saw it at the mayor's ball, and I've seen it a few other times, where they coordinate their outfits. And I think it's just darling. I think it's darling. They didn't do it yesterday. I believe she was wearing coral and he was wearing some sort of teal or turquoise, but complementary colors. I noticed that the mayor's headshot, look at that headshot. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think this is recent. Like maybe a 2013 headshot. It's certainly not a 2019 headshot. Like most people who occupy a position that comes with a lot of pressure, I believe, and the mayor's, a good-looking man. He's in good shape, but the office ages you, and this isn't what he looks like anymore. So maybe get a more accurate, a more recent headshot. I know we like to use the old headshots because we're younger in them, and I understand that impulse. Truly, I do. I'm approaching 60 myself. I would like nothing more than to use images from when I was in my 30s and I looked younger and thinner and all those good things. Now, let's go to the content of his campaign flyer. Key accomplishments. Crime is down in every neighborhood. Now, he doesn't say what kind of crime is down. I know that in South Norwalk, there was a stabbing a few weeks ago, and there was another death in connection to that stabbing. We recently had 5 opioid deaths, 8 overdoses, 5 opioid deaths. I'm not sure how that translates to crime being down. I believe that some property crimes are down, that we had a problem with vandalism and theft of automobiles, especially where people were leaving the keys in the car, and that has come down. Maybe petty crimes have come down, but there is a sense that the more violent crimes and drug crimes certainly are up. So I don't know if that is he's just gilding the lily, or if that's just a lie. And we had the episode on lie, fibs, and videotape. Maybe it's a fib. I think it's a lie. Grand list growth every year we've been in office since 2013. Okay, now let's unpack that one. There was a reval in 2013, and there was another reval in 2018. So it stands to reason that the grand list would grow in that 5-year interval, but we were not doing revals in the interim. So this is misleading. This is a misleading statement that there has been grand list growth every year. This does not account for concerns about the 2018 reval by Tyler Technologies. There are many people who think that was a botched reval. There were many complaints about the assessments. I'm one of those people, and I'm going to come back and appeal my assessment next year, because there's no way in hell that I can get the amount of money for my home that they told me it's worth. There are a lot of people in the same boat. So I think that's misleading. I'm not going to give it an outright lie, but I certainly think that's a misleading figure. And has the grand list grown? This is the important question. Has it grown to meet the demand? We have increasing population in the city. We have more school-age children. The level of need in that population is growing. The level of financial need is growing. Is the grand list growing to meet the need? Well, my property taxes have gone from $9,000 to $16,000 since 2013, since the mayor took office. So from the point of view of my pocketbook, if the grand list is doing so great, why are my taxes soaring? Explain that. Riddle me that, Mr. Mayor. Economic development across the city, including the new Sono collection, which, this is a mystery. Will it open in October? As Nordstrom claims it will, or will it open after the new year as many others claim? Better schools. I love how the mayor, who gives the Board of Ed such a hard time, rarely goes to the meetings, last year approved flatlining their budget, although he grudgingly gave them a little more money. This year took money out of the rainy day fund in order to make it look good in the election year. How he now wants to take credit for the work of the Board of Education, principally Mike Lyons, Brian Meek, and Mike Barbas. So a lie, a fib, misleading, I would say misleading. Transparency in government. It's really interesting that he included this in his brochure, because this is one of the number one criticisms of the Rilling administration is lack of transparency. I could go on for a long time talking about the lack of transparency. I don't have to look further than my FOIA request regarding vacancies on the Zoning Commission, where the mayor not only hid the truth, but lied about the truth. So if a mayor is forced to lie to people about something, then he's hiding something. And hiding something is the opposite of transparency. And then finally, I love this little tidbit from Congressman Jim Himes. He was so helpful to the Quintard neighborhood when we needed his help to stop Fire Tree from opening a prison in that neighborhood. And Congressman Himes says Harry is in touch with people because he's out in the community every day. Okay, he is out in the community every day. He's not in touch with people. Anyone who's been to City Hall, who's spoken at City Hall, can tell you that we are largely unheard. We may go to the meetings, we may try and gain some consensus, bring other people to the table. We can come and say the same thing over and over and over again, and it's very clear he may be there, but he's not listening. And finally, Rilling proven leadership. I don't know what to call that. Delusional, maybe? So there you have it. There's my assessment of the silly season so far. If you have Flair, I suggest that you wear it. If you have a pin or a hat or a t-shirt, get out there, wear your Flair, wear it proudly. And if the mayor doesn't like it, you know, I don't know, give him a pin or a yard sign or a hat to wear to make him feel happy. But I assure you, Mayor Rilling, you have way more airtime on the campaign trail than anybody else. I promise you, you know it, everybody else knows it. So knock off the petty bullshit, stick to the issues, and I hope to see you all tomorrow. I bid you adieu. I hope you had a fabulous weekend, and goodbye.